What is up, Waffle Gang? I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're covering some more r/am I the butthole. If you'd like to skip the initial waffle, timestamps are in the description and along the timeline below, but if you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too. And if you're feeling extra spicy, you can join the channel too by clicking that join button down below or heading on over to Patreon, link in the description, and joining up there, just like these people did. We had Jan Puff, Sarada Brony, Pirate Princess 9, Lena Stensgaard, Veronica Caldwell, and a rejoin from Elcrid665, love you bro, and Pastel Pinky. Then on Patreon we had Yukina. Thank you so much for your support. I cannot tell you how much it means to me. It is absolutely incredible. And just a quick update before I do go any further about the Christmas competition. I've got all the pictures together. I have my winners. I just need to put it into a video now. So either tomorrow or the next day I will have those announced. They're just so great. I've sat here for ages thinking, oh no, which one should I pick? And I'm excited to announce those. And also quickly, some of you have been putting fan art and stuff on the channel. I hate the word fan art, you know that. I've turned it to friend art. Cheesy, I know. But I will be putting that on the channel as well soon. So feel free to continue doing that because I love to see it. And let's crack on with today's stories. Much love, guys. And our first one comes from Am I the Arsehole Skin? Am I the arsehole for hiding my girlfriend's skincare? Basically, I hid my girlfriend's skincare collection. I was planning on throwing it all away until she freaked out about it. My girlfriend has had a sort of obsessive hobby with buying skincare since before me, and it's gotten worse since we started dating. Dating about 4 years, we're both 23 now. She picks up extra shifts on the weekend just to afford the newest, most interesting products. At first I was supportive of her hobby, whatever makes her happy I guess, but lately I've been struggling to understand why she's buying these things. We have separate bathrooms and in every single drawer is another toner, cleanser or exfoliant. She's in school to become a dermatologist, but seriously, I don't know anyone in school with this much of a collection. I've tried for months to tell her this isn't healthy and she needs help, but she tells me because she pays the bills in our apartment and for my food and other hobbies, she's allowed to do whatever she wants with her extra money. But to me, it's completely wasteful. She's already gorgeous with incredibly lovely pillow soft skin and not a single scar. She literally has the best skin everywhere on her body. It's like she's been fucking airbrushed. This doesn't matter to her though, as she is always having packages show up and new additions to her collection. Here's where I think I messed up. My girlfriend spends about 12 hours in double shift at work, and after she left I decided to load all her skincare in multiple black trash bags and just put them in my truck. I wasn't going to go crazy and throw them away. I know this stuff is worth $3,000 to $4,000. Some of the shit is literally in fucking boxes. I just wanted to try and show her she didn't need any of it. When she came home at around 12 AM exhausted, just wanted to wash her face, she has to. All of her products were missing, obviously. She immediately came to me in almost hysterics about how everything is gone and she thinks we were robbed. I told her we weren't and that she doesn't need all this stuff because she's beautiful already. I told her I took it away, didn't say where, because she doesn't need all this garbage. Within seconds her mood changed and she wouldn't even look at me. She took her blankets to the couch and slept there, crying. She was being so dramatic, I decided to just get the stuff from my truck. I brought the bags in and dumped them on the floor, and she started sobbing. She said some of them were gifts from her father that passed away, and she thought she would never get to see them again. He apparently wasn't good at gift giving, but knew this passion of hers. Yeah. Am I the arsehole? I literally gave her the stuff back, and I don't believe her dad would just suddenly give her gifts, as she said in the past he struggles with buying gifts. I really don't want to lose her. I want to marry her. She's the most beautiful woman and kind soul I've ever met. And there was a few people calling this person a troll and all this sort of stuff, and he came back with a couple of spicy edits, let's just say. So edit, a lot of people have been calling a troll because my girlfriend's family has an unusual belief about how men should stay at home. I don't know how to explain that's how she was raised. Also the fact that I didn't know what a studio apartment was. Geez, sorry not knowing what apartment styles are is worthy of you all ridiculing my fucking life as a joke and troll. Ugh, fuck off. Edit 2. I see a lot of comments claiming my girlfriend has a lot of money, so why does she have to work? Newsflash, assholes! Not everyone spends the money they have. Plus, she isn't in medical school full time. She's doing studies. She does apprenticeships but isn't a full-blown John Hopkins. Edit 3. We broke up and she's blocked me on everything. Now, I shouldn't laugh at a relationship being broken up like that, but the way he talks in this post, man. One of the bits that really got to me was like when he was complaining about like she's already got beautifully soft skin and all this kind of thing, but ever since you've known her she's been using skincare products. And I'm not saying like skincare products will work, because I don't know this stuff. I just use a moisturizer. I like baby soft skin too, you know, but there's a strong chance that her skin is soft because she's using these products, right? And who are you to complain, man? I mean, she's going out getting extra hours to buy this stuff. It's not like she's using your money to do it. You're staying at home while she's out there working. According to you, she pays for all the bills and the food. And you're telling her how to spend her extra money. I just don't understand. There's nothing in this story. You've even got separate bathrooms, so it's not like the stuff is taking over your cupboards too. Why does it matter to you? Why are you bothered about it? It only just sounds controlling, and that's it. There's no valid reason why you should be hating on this hobby of hers, if you can call it a hobby, I'm not sure. But Mad Piglet 42 says you're the arsehole, and what the fuck is wrong with you? How on earth did you think this was anything like a good idea? It's her stuff. You have separate bathrooms, so it's not like it's encroaching on your space. Leave her stuff alone, man. This is a hobby that doesn't really affect you in any way, so why on earth do you care what she does with her skin and her money? Hope she uses this little episode and motivation to dump you and find an actual man who will respect her and her things. And Lance123 says, you're the arsehole. Let me get this straight. You decided that her collection, from which she derives pleasure and which isn't hurting anyone, a collection that also applies to the field in which she's training no less, was necessary and decided in your infinite wisdom to get rid of. This woman not only paid for this harmless collection herself, but also, by your own admission, pays for everything in your house and your hobbies. How in the HE double hockey sticks could you possibly think this was a good idea? What does that HE stand for? It sounds like you need to grow up. If I were her, I'd be keeping the skincare products and seriously consider throwing you out instead. Then she gets another bathroom for herself and can find a partner who respects her and her things. And Convoluted Syndrome says, so let's break this fiasco down real quick. 1, you are basically shitting on her hobby. 2, she literally goes out of her way to pick up extra shifts so she can do the thing she enjoys. 3, you have separate bathrooms, so it's not like you even have to look at this stuff. 4, she pays for all the bills and for the food, and you're telling her how to spend her extra money. 5, her collection is worth $3,000 to $4,000 and you were fully prepared to throw it away. 6, some of it were gifts from her late father. 7, and to boot, and you decide not to believe her late father would give her gifts based on what she enjoyed. Sir, not only are you the arsehole, you are toxic and your girlfriend will be smart to detox, if you catch my drift. Everything about this atrocious behaviour from a grown-ass man. The beautiful thing about hobbies is no one else has to understand you, but they are fun ways to pass time and enjoy life. I have a collection of vinyl records that you're going to throw all my shit out too because you deem it not necessary. Get real. Now, I turn this spicy one to you guys. How would you deal with this situation? Imagine you came home and your partner done something similar to you, chucked out one of your hobbies, an expensive hobby at that, one that you passionately love. How would you deal with it? Let us know in the comments below. So our next story comes from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for not giving my wife her daughter's address so she could see the newborn? Hear me out. I'm a 46-year-old father who lost a daughter, Molly, years ago to brain cancer. She was my only child. I'm no longer who I was before this tragedy. I married my wife when my stepdaughter Sarah was 15. Sarah has issues with her mum. Her mum would kick her out over small arguments. She kicked her out for getting a haircut, for failing one class and other reasons. Every time she'd bring her back home and tell her to learn her lesson or she'd be kicked out. One time, her mum kicked her out over a diary at 17, and Sarah had enough and didn't return. She started working. I remained in contact, I just couldn't get her struggle. I tried to help her out financially, but she refused. She's incredibly independent and a hard-working person. She reminded me of Molly. I decided to help in other ways. I got her a better job opportunity by calling someone I knew at this time. This way, she still had to work to earn money, which is something she wanted, and also work a better job that appreciated her more than the previous job. She's an artist, she wanted to be a graphic designer, so I sold my old car to pay for her courses. She started paying me back bit by bit only because she's independent. She lived with her then boyfriend, now husband, and paid for other things. My wife didn't try to mend things. She disowned Sarah the day she got married, but I stood firm and told her that I'm free to talk to Sarah and she should respect that. I attend gatherings with Sarah from time to time and she calls me dad in front of other people. In the past it was always just my name. This sounds crazy, but I believe all this happened just so I could meet Sarah and have a chance at being the best father that I could be. She's now 22 and just had a baby girl a few weeks ago. I visited several times and we talked. She told me that it was unfortunate that she lost her dad, but was glad she has me in her life. I cried, although I'm not good at expressing my emotions, and it was worse after Molly's death. My wife knew about the baby and demanded I give her the address so she could go see her granddaughter. I refused because Sarah asked me not to tell and because she's already dealing with postpartum and will not be able to deal with her mum's behaviour. My wife threw a fit and said this is her daughter and her grandbaby and I shouldn't stop her from seeing her. She called me selfish and cruel. The argument didn't stop. The family are agreeing with her and telling me to stay out of it. I argued with my wife about it again and she said I had no right and that I needed to give her the address. She didn't even seem regretful or wanted to apologise. Everyone is blaming me, telling me I'm being cruel and demanding I give her the address. As we learn time and time again on this channel, family isn't just blood, and you stepped in to be, somewhat of a father figure to this girl, so fair play to you for doing that, helping her achieve, her dream of being a graphic designer. That is absolutely fantastic, and for her to call you dad, I can feel the emotion. I was feeling it too as I was reading it, and also I am sorry about your daughter too. I can't imagine how you'd feel about that. I'm just so sorry. But there's one line in here that sort of says it all really, and it was about the address, and it says I refused because Sarah asked me not to tell, and that's it. She doesn't want the mother to know where she is, and that's all that matters, and you just following her wishes. The rest of her family have no say in it whatsoever. They want you to stay out of it. Just stay out of it then. Just don't hand over the address to no one. That's all you're doing in this situation. So fair play to you for doing what you do, and let's have a look at some of the comments to see what they said. Dr. Burnsy says, not the arsehole, in the kindest way I can muster. Get a divorce. Miss Murderpants says, not the arsehole. She's going to boundary stomp all over her daughter. Don't let her. Please make sure she can't follow you or track the daughter down. Personally, I'd rethink the marriage, and seriously, you let her kick out her underage daughter. That's really awful. I'm glad you're making it up to her now. Don't you dare ever tell anyone not approved by daughter to know how to find her. And Blorpoo says, the only conceivable way you're the arsehole is not divorcing someone like this before now. And I want you to understand that this is where this is headed. You're going to have to choose whether you want your daughter in your life or her mother, because you can't have both. And OP does reply to this saying, I'm leaving the house tomorrow. I couldn't stand all this pressure. Sarah told me she didn't want to be the reason her mum and I get separated, but at this point, I can't take it anymore. Obedicta says, why are you still married to someone who can treat their own child that way? Get some therapy and a divorce. Wow. So, it sounds like they are going to be ending in separation in the end. Do you think this was the right path to go down, or was there a different route? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And our next story is from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for agreeing to take in my sister but not stepsisters when my parents wanted to go on vacation? I, female 20, have a sister, female 17, and two stepsisters, female 15 and female 13. My mum remarried close to 2 years ago. She's been persistent with forcing my sister to have a relationship with her husband and his kids, and because of that my sister escapes to my house. I live with my boyfriend, male 21, in a 2-bedroom apartment, so my boyfriend and I agreed to let the second room basically turn into my sister's room. She's over almost every other week after fighting with my mum about her forcing relationship between her and the other 2 girls. On today's events, my mum and her husband wants to get away for a week. My mum asked if I could take in all 3 girls. They don't trust the girls home alone due to the house being wrecked and a lot more the last time they left them alone. Another story for another day. I said I could take in my sister but not my stepsisters, 1 because I wasn't comfortable having them over when I barely met them no more than 2 to 3 times, and 2, it wouldn't be enough space. My mum suggested I let them all share the room my sister stays in when she comes over, and I said I wasn't going to force that onto her. She asked if I could just let them sleep on the couch, and I said it wouldn't be right because the couch is small and even the 13-year-old wouldn't fit. She started getting pissy with me and said she didn't like my favoritism and how would my stepsisters feel if they knew I didn't want them around, which is not even close to true. I may be the arsehole here. I told her I didn't care to have a relationship with them and they're strangers to me. I said that I don't hate them, but I can't love them because I do not know them. She said my sister acted the way she did because of the way I behave, which also isn't true. My sister is her own person with her own feelings. I never once told my sister I disliked my stepsisters. All I said to her is that it was fine if she didn't want to be close to them, that a relationship isn't a relationship if it's forced. My mum said I was an arsehole for forcing them to postpone their vacation and telling her I didn't love my stepsisters. Am I the arsehole here? Edit. My mum's husband has no family that I'm aware of outside of his brother and sister. His brother lives 12 plus hours away and his sister an 8-hour drive. That's how long it took her to travel for the wedding. Other than that, I don't know of any other family he has. The girl's mum passed away when they were pretty young. Now, why my sister isn't interested in being friendly with our stepsisters? My mum has forced her for the last 2 years to share everything she has with them. And when I say everything, I mean everything, possessions to clothes. I'm sure my stepsisters know they can get away with using her stuff. They lost their mum at a young age and my mum wants to fill that spot and thinks she's doing so by giving them whatever they want. I can go on for days on about how my mum has put their wants before my sister's needs. Why I'm not interested in having a relationship with them. Overall, it dies down to how they treat my sister. They're mean to her and they can get away with it because my mum thinks they're trying to fight for her attention. I've explained that's not the way to do it and she thinks she knows best. I think I covered all of the questions and gave more info for those who asked. Why are they going on vacation during a pandemic? I do not know. Why she didn't offer me to stay at her house, I don't know that either. But even that, I wouldn't have anywhere to sleep. I could have possibly shared with my sister, but again, she wanted to come to my house. As far as my sister moving in with me, now or in the future, that's all up to her. She's a really smart girl and she makes her own decisions. I won't make her feel like she has to move here, but she knows she can, when she wants to. And we're going to start off with YMMV Butt saying, not the arsehole. Watching 3 teenagers for a week so someone else can go on vacation is a huge ask. Family or not, they sound like a handful if they wrecked the house the last time. You were nice to take your sister, maybe the other girl's mum or other relatives can watch them, or your mum and stepdad can take them along or stay home. And Broken Nail says, not the arsehole, I wouldn't want to cram 3 teenagers I actually knew and cared for into a 2-bedroom apartment for a week, much less 2 I didn't, and the one who came to me to get away from them. Your mother and her husband are the arsehole for not making proper attachments before their lack of planning could postpone their vacation. And Mykonos says, not the arsehole, it's your house, you have the right to take in whoever you want. Sounds like your mum just wants a free babysitter for your stepsisters, who, if they wrecked your house, seem like a lot. I think your mum is being very manipulative. Now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What would you do in this situation and how would you deal with it? Let us know in the comments below. And our next story is from Disastrous Eye 1262. Am I the arsehole for not returning my ex, my cat, after I tricked her into adopting him to me? I, 29 male, have been dating my now ex-girlfriend, 25 female, for about 7 months before some unforgivable lapses of judgment on her part. It was a pretty bitter breakup and we didn't leave on good terms. While we were dating, she had this cat named Puff, who was this huge, adorable, fluffy cuddle bug. Whenever I was over, he was all over with me with lots of snuggles and kisses. I think he was starved for attention, as I can't recall a time I saw her hold him or laying in her lap. I adopted him and he adored me. He was what I regretted losing most about the relationship. Last week I learned from a mutual friend that she was putting him up for adoption. I immediately got in contact with her about me taking him, but she was vehemently against it. She told a mutual friend that she was going to give him to a nearby shelter if none of her family or friends would take him. But I was ready, and as soon as she dropped him off, I went to the shelter and tried to get him. They denied me, and apparently she told them that during our time together that I was abusive towards her and Puff. I wasn't going to leave him in that place, as the shelter has the highest euthanasia rate in the county. So I had my best friend go to the shelter and get him for me. He's with me now, purring loudly in my lap as I'm typing this. My ex found out about me gaining ownership of Puff and is now irate about tricking her in the shelter and adopting him against her wishes. She called the police on me, and after I showed them adoption records, they reprimanded her for wasting police resources. So here's where I might be the arsehole. She is now demanding I return him to her, as she deeply regrets her decision and needs him back. He is my cat now and I love him dearly, so I refused. I've got an angry text from her family and friends demanding I return him. It's possible that she truly does regret losing him, but frankly, I don't care. He's mine now, and he'll be mine until they pry him from my cold, dead hands. And here's the cat tax. And that looks like one content cat. And one edit that says, additional info, I legally own Puff as I paid my friend who adopted him to reimburse him for the adoption fees. My best friend signed an unofficial bill of sale granting me ownership of Puff with a third party witness. First thing I did was bring him to the vet and had him microchipped so there was a paper trail of ownership for me. And let's face it, in this story, she just doesn't want the cat back. She's just trying to get him back, to give him back to the shelter or something like that. She's just being manipulative and awful, to be quite honest. The fact that she wouldn't let you adopt the cat in the first place is just absolutely crazy, you know, wanting to give it to a loving home, someone that will love it. And instead she gives it to a shelter which may euthanize it. But Lil says, not the arsehole, do not give the cat back to her. She doesn't want you to be happy with Sir Floof, and we want cat tax, which we've already got. And Kamake says, not the arsehole, she abandoned him at the shelter and Puff loves you. She should think twice before letting behind him. She lost ownership and you are now his. As simply as that you're not the arsehole. If she did once, she can do it again, but this time making sure you won't be able to adopt him. And Chris says, not the arsehole, she'd have no grounds to go to some random stranger who adopted the cat if she changed her mind after the fact and asked for him back, and she doesn't with you either. And Buzz McTroit says, not the arsehole, she abandoned her cat and went out of her way to make sure he didn't go to you and yours. Probably the best home for him, given that he likes and is familiar with you. Even going so far as to lie and tell a shelter that you abuse animals, which is flat out defamation of character. She doesn't deserve the cat if she was willing to do all that. She just doesn't want you to be happy, and she'd probably take him back to the shelter within a few months if you give him back to her. Enjoy your new cat. Also, you gotta post pics for the cat tax, which of course they have. Now, I turn this one to you guys. What would you do in this situation? It's kind of a weird one. I haven't seen anything like this before where, you know, a relationship's broken up and then they're sort of fighting over the pet. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Now, once again, guys, thank you for being here today. You are really, really appreciated. You are keeping me going. Your positive comments, seeing you in Discord, Twitter, everywhere is absolutely insane of you. Insane support. So thank you so, so much. I've been a bit quiet on the socials the last couple of days, mainly because, you know, it's just after Christmas. I'm still trying to catch up and I got my real work to catch up on too. So I'm just getting some plans in place. Then we're going to be flying ahead. I've got a lot of plans for this year. So I hope you do stick with me. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you very much. And I will see you in the next one. Much love.